Hello, welcome. My name is Yves Sandfort. I'm CEO of the Comdivision Group, and with me is Jens Henning.
Yep, Senior Architect at the Comdivision Group. And we're here today.
Yeah, to talk a bit about the latest changes in VROps 6.1 and how it makes your life easier to actually do monitoring without all the hassle of Hyperic. And so Jens is going to talk to you a bit about what's currently necessary to do monitoring with VROps for OS and applications with Hyperic. So Jens.
Yeah, if you have a look today at our VROps 6.0 with Hyperic installed, so what do we have? We have on our side, we have a bunch of VROps nodes, and typically we connect them with one or more Hyperic servers for high availability, and these again are connected to our Hyperic agents installed on our virtual machines. So that's how it looks today. So how many applications can we monitor right now? So there's a bunch of applications out there right now. You can download them. It's a solution.
Are you on a rush somewhere? Huh? People need to listen to you, so speak a bit not so fast.
Sorry. So thanks for mentioning. So currently, if you have a look at Solution Exchange, you can download a bunch of plugins and agents for this one. So that's how it looks today with version 6.0. So Yves, tell me, how do we do it with 6.8? What's the difference?
So with 6.1, the main difference is that we completely can cut out the whole Hyperic thing. One of the things we have seen on implementations in the last year and a half is the whole Hyperic thing makes it really complicated. And now that we have the ability to directly use the agents and drop information from the agent directly into VROps, we can basically do OS and application monitoring without any need to actually add an Hyperic server in here. So overall the deployment is going to be much easier. We don't need for redundancy purposes and stuff like that anymore the Hyperic server. And actually the deployment is actually quite easy, and we can easily drop that in. So overall, no longer multiple Hyperic servers. We can directly communicate with the VROps instance. And the other piece is, in the old past, you had to actually manually link all these individual components. So you had to link back a reference between an application and an operating system and everything, and that's all gone. So that's going to be much easier in VROps now. So you basically have all the components, all the information directly getting into it. And on top of that, one of the advantages is clearly we can directly actually execute tasks from the application. So
that's pretty cool. So once you install the agent, it will automatically collect and see what's installed in the virtual machines, and then you can click down and see, hey, let's monitor, for example, processes or whatever.
Yeah. So all the process information and all that kind of stuff goes directly into VROps, and you have the metrics and everything for that. When we look at the implementation, deployment of the agent has become much easier, so you can basically now just deploy it. The processes, you just kick off a little batch script, so you download the agent. It's like the old EPO Hyperic agent. You drop that onto the box, and then you kick off the start script, and then you basically have all you need. Solutions and everything become easier. So in the past, whenever you had to monitor an Exchange server with VROps, we had to basically take a solution pack for Ops Manager. We had to then also deploy Hyperic and Hyperic agent and everything. And now there is basically, as soon as you deploy the new VROps agents, you can basically drop them in the OS. And once they are in the OS, you can actually then from there deploy a solution pack in VROps, and that will actually add all the additional agents. And I think that will make your life in the deployment much easier then.
And make sure so you install it as a solution, but you won't find the agent right now if you look at the dashboard in the solution area. So if you want to see how many agents you have installed, so please click then on agents, and there you will see all the agents that are available for you right now for monitoring.
Yeah, so that makes your life a lot easier. A few things we have found when we played around with 6.1 in the early days now is there are a few things you need to be aware of. So one of the things we found is when you deploy against multiple VROps instances, you basically need to either implement round robin by DNS, or you use some kind of external load balancer. That can be any kind of proxy load balancing mechanism. So the agent doesn't need to be changed whenever you have to exchange an individual agent later on. The other point is, as I mentioned before, is the solutions actually now come as a complete package. So it makes our life easier. We don't have to deploy a VROps solution pack, Hyperic pack, and then the agent on top of that.
So, what do we need to do first? So we start, before we roll out the agents or install any agents, first of all, there's a prereq. We need to create a role inside VROps called Manage Agents.
Yeah, so with that specific role, that's a bit like the Hyperic agent we had to use in the past to link actually our agent against Hyperic, and now that user needs to be existing within VROps. This is basically the backlink, what the Hyperic agent or the EPO agent, how they are now called, uses to log into VROps. So that user needs to be existing. It doesn't need to be an SSO, you just create that within VROps, and then you basically mark that as managed agents, and then you can actually work from there. So let's quickly go through the steps necessary to install an agent. So overall, if you have done that before,
that looks pretty similar to the older version. So steps are pretty much the same. So here a Windows installation, just double click it, install it, answer some questions on it.
Yeah, so that's basically the same process a lot of you might have used before with Hyperic. So within Hyperic, you basically you had an agent you could download them from the VMware homepage. That's the same process here with VROps 6.1. You just download that agent. When you have that agent, you take that agent and drop it, in this case, on a Windows box. And then within that Windows box, you just actually unfold that zip file. And then you actually go through the process of actually running or issuing the start command. And then within the start command, we then have the additional commands to actually register the agent with the individual components and services. So once the agent is actually going to be deployed on your VROps instance, then it will actually list up there as an adapter within VROps. So overall, each one of these agents will become an independent adapter in the system, and then you can also always check whether they are collecting data. So is there a collection status done? Is the information going? Also, when you update agents, all of that comes from VROps. So your central point, once you have deployed your initial agent, is then to actually go through and step by step and actually drop in the individual components. If you add something like an Exchange plugin, you just add that into VROps. That gets deployed into the agents, and then everything is going. So that makes your life a lot easier. Good. The other thing is what you can do with the agents. You can identify what metrics you are going to actually take a look at. So for each application, VROps comes predefined with a set of metrics. But for example, if you want to actually look for the number of transactions on a Microsoft SQL server or something else, which is not in the default package of metrics, then within that specific package, you can basically then actually define which metrics you are going to collect. So that's going to make your life a lot easier. So once you defined which metrics to collect, you can basically set the individual attribute types. You can specify how they are going to be stored, and then the system is going to do exactly the same as what you have done before in VROps. So most of you know in VROps you normally you have the individual metrics like CPU value, CPU wait, and stuff like
ready
that.
Time, yep.
CPU ready time, as you said, and VROps is going to calculate anomalies on that. And for each of these metrics, you are going to get in there from an agent. All of these metrics will behave the same. So, for example, if you do SQL Server monitoring, the number of logs per minute and stuff like that, all of a sudden the system is going to immediately nail down the information, and you get, again, is it in the normal range and stuff like that, and that even makes it easier to monitor.
Yeah, this information you can easily use and put it in the dashboard and to make a graphics out of it, and as you are used to do it in version 6.0 as well.
So yeah, so overall that's going to make your life a bit easier, especially when you monitor even larger applications, even something like an SAP or stuff like that. You can immediately actually identify your individual metrics and throw them in, and I think it makes life a lot easier. Yeah. So maybe you quickly cover the plugins which are available.
Yeah, from the beginning, we have a basic set of plugins that's available from start, and
so basic monitoring like Linux, Windows operating system monitoring. So how many processes are there, how much free memory we have, and stuff like that.
So if you need something else, so this will come as a solution package. So go to Solution Exchange, download the solution package. upload it, and then it will be there as a plugin for you, and then you can get additional agents that are available for your system.
And that actually works the same way. If you have any existing Hyperic agents, for example, you can convert them. So on the Solution Exchange, there is a script, which you can download.
Yeah, an XML file will help you to convert your current agents and self-developed solutions and samples, and they will convert it to the new version, and then you can update it in, upload it in, install it, and there you have it again in your system.
Yeah, and you only need to upload them into VROps actually, because you don't need to deploy that on every agent, which is great, because if you imagine that you have 500 or 1,000 machines being monitored and you want to make a change to an agent, then you don't have to go into each one of these 500 or 1,000 machines and actually do it over there. You can immediately run it centrally in one central place.
Awesome. So this makes my life totally much more easier. As we have really a simple kind of management right here, right now.
So one thing, however, we need to mention with this is the only big caveat with this overall setup is actually when we talk about data migration. So when you move from VROps 6 to VROps 6.1 and you have already Hyperic installed currently, then you need to be aware of the fact that there is no directly one-to-one move between Hyperic and VROps. So the point is, what the easiest thing we found what you can actually do is you go in and start targeting your agents from Hyperic to VROps, and you can actually run in a mixed environment there. So you keep your Hyperic feed on one hand, and then you have your direct VROps feed on the other hand, and both of them will actually feed into the system. And that way you can step by step actually move away from the overall Hyperic system into VROps, and then get basically both integrated, and that will make your life easier again.
Yeah, on the roadmap, actions in Hyperic server. So that's basically that you can directly from alert or from your object directly trigger an action right now with a script, whatever. Yeah, this is on the roadmap, currently not implemented, but we will see it hopefully very soon in a further update.
Great. So that's basically most you need to know about it. So again, thanks for the quick opportunity to talk about this. I think it's great that we can do Hyperic now, can do VROps now without Hyperic and actually directly monitor applications.
Which makes our life pretty much easier from management perspective.
It makes it a lot easier, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.